going on? Oh, shit. Oh, there's nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there that Let me reload this thing. Oh, darn it. Yeah, it is live. It's up there, guys. Ooh. Boo, what's up? What's up, everyone? Hello. Hello. Boo, what's up? Hello. Everyone? Hello. It's only me for now. Hello. God, I look like shit when oh. I think we're getting some reverb here. Hey, Brian, what's going on, dude? Pretty wet and crazy out there. Hope you're doing all right, man. You're already used to this shit, though, huh? This rain doesn't faze you. Doesn't faze Brian. He's like a Boy Scout. He's prepared. Oh, you're off today? Are you doing anything special? You going out at all? You going to have I'm done. Yeah, I did bid. I'm done for the day. It was a long day because we started a little later, which is all good. And yeah, I'm off. My days off are going to be Monday, Tuesday. And I went with the late schedule. Even though I was a little apprehensive about, I was thinking of the earlier schedule. But yeah, I went with the late schedule. Because like you said, you know, the chances that I oversleep are less likely getting an afternoon schedule for sure. So, and I'm going to be located in the G section, which is cool. I'm going to be grabbing and going, which is cool too, whatever, you know. So it should be really cool. It should be good. I don't mind it. It's all the same thing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping, you know, even, and I told this to a person, even if I have to train next week in weather like this, I'm down with that, man. I'm okay with that shit. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. I don't mind it. I think sometimes when you're like working in this kind of environment, when you work outdoors and you're working like in inclement weather, when you're training in that same weather, it's good because it prepares you for like what reality is going to be. Right? Like there's no, if you work and train within the worst environment, whether it's the weather or even people, you know, it can only get better from there. And you just learn to appreciate and work better with, you know, just like our betting. Like when you have bad nights and you make the wrong picks, you would hope that you learn a little bit and you take that experience and learn better. I really haven't. It's not that I have bad habits. I think it's just still my knowledge base and what it is that I know and I've been winning doing the prop bets. And sure, I lose at it, but you sort of stick to what you're best at. And I've been best at the prop betting, so I'm going to stick with it. You know, last week if Pat Sabatini had gotten that submission, bro, I mean, off of, you know, $130, which was a huge bet for me on a prop bet, man, that would have paid out big at plus 1,800. You know, do the math. It's just self-explanatory. And it was almost there. He had it so many times, that opportunity, that it wasn't a bad bet. It's a bad beat. That does happen in this game. And, you know, I'll remember that bet for a long time. It's sort of like the bet I made, you know, when I live bet Ortega, you know, against Volkanovski, you know, and I got him at plus 1,600 and I threw 100 on that. And then he almost got the submission in that one round. So, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, I'm going to continue with that, and I'm still going to continue with the prop betting. I think I'm just doing fewer of the prop bets, which is good. Like last week, that was like my main loss. If I hadn't made that particular bet, I think I would have broken even for the evening or close to it. So this week I'm just going to go with, because I haven't been able to study the card or cards as well, I'm going to go with just fewer bets. I'm not going to be betting certain things. I'm just going to watch it. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just watching it or just checking it out, not placing any bets on it, and just let things be and see how it goes. Try not to force anything. I looked at some of the picks that other people had. I'm familiar with some of these fighters. I just didn't do my normal due diligence on a lot of the bouts. But that being the case, I'm not going to bet as much, right? What's up, D-Rest? How you doing, brother? How's it in New York, man? I'll be dealing the cards out here, brother. Actually, I think I respect card dealers. That's a tough job. You literally return to. Well, I didn't get a full 80 hours on my paycheck this week, although the paycheck was nice. There wasn't a full 80 hours there, so I'm not going to go crazy this weekend. But the next check's going to be pretty fat. It's going to be pretty good. So, but yeah, no return to the roulette table. What I'm going to do, Brian, is come here soon on one of my days off, on one of my Mondays or Tuesdays. I might, take off like with the gal and head to Wisconsin, rent a hotel and play a little roulette. Or just do what Al does and red or black. You know what I mean? Like 50-50, No, apparently the guy explained it. I contacted HR and the guy said that there was our pay period or our training period fell within a pay period. So next week pay period on May 6th, it's going to have 120 hours on it. Which, okay, I'll take that. You can hold on to that money. No problem. I can't gamble it away. I can't give it to Rivers Casino. So that's good. I'm like, no problem. I know I'm going to get it. So I'm happy with that. It's just keep it out of my hands. I can't go crazy. Because if I would have saw that fat check today, man, I would have been like, tomorrow I would have been like, I would have been taking a little bit more of a bank with me. So tomorrow I'm gonna take it easy. Just take things as they are, and hopefully make some smart bets. But Manal Cop already fell out, and that was one of my main plays in terms of parlays. So that was good. And so now employer intervention, yeah, it basically is, man. That being, like not getting that money really helps. I'm a decent money manager, but I must admit, like, lately more the gambling wages have gone up. I mean, the gambling increments, like, sure, I'm still making those $20 and $30 bets, but on things that I'm more confident of, I've stepped it up a little bit more. Like, look at play. I had $130 invested into that on a prop bet. So for me, that's huge, right? That's a big bet for me on a prop bet. Sure, I'll put $100 down on a money line bet, right? On a dog bet or even a favorite bet where I'm confident. But usually my prop bet amount was anywhere. I used to stick anywhere from $20 to $50, and then slowly, especially after the Paul Craig bout, I moved into the $100 range. Sometimes, if I'm like this weekend, for example, I'm not feeling Jessica Andrade by knockout because I think Lemos can take it and give it. I think that one might go the distance. I think that it might go the full 5, even though she hits really hard. But if I feel a sort of way on a certain person, certain fighter, it's gotten a little higher lately, so that's good and bad. So I'm glad that actually I didn't get that full paycheck in because, yeah, I would have been betting more. So it's cool. And I didn't. There's no need for me to go on a spending spree. Lemos is gonna gas. If she gasses, but Andrade gasses too. So if she gasses, if she's either fucked, she's gonna get grounded and pounded. They both have like underestimated wrestling. They're very similar fighters. And I thought the size difference was going to be really drastic. And Andrade isn't that much smaller than Lemos. And Lemos looks a little stiff You know, she looked a little. I loved Andrade's hair, by the way. No get, no cap. Like her hair was just really, really cool looking. Whoever her hairstylist was did a fantastic job. And but she looked really loose and comfortable at the weigh-ins, whereas Lemos looked like stiff and constipated, which is probably the case. You are sort of probably constipated when you are cutting weight. So D-Rest, what's your pick this week? My main play right now is normally I have a lot of tickets, guys, but right now I have one ticket. No, D-Rest, I think they have, you could go to the casino now in New York is fully open for gambling now. I think that they're all good. You could go, you're good to go. I mean, it's just whether you want to do it or not, and you have that expendable income. I don't encourage people, like sometimes myself, the past couple weeks when I wasn't making, or the beginning of the year when I wasn't making as much money, I probably shouldn't have been. He's thinking that the girl beats Andrade. He's on Lemos, huh? If she comes in with some decent wrestling, but Andrade's counter wrestling is so good, and Lemos is not a wrestler. She's a stand-up fighter herself. So I think it's going to be a brawler versus brawler match. And I think Brian's right. Whoever sort of gasses first is going to lose. Whoever has less in the gas tank is going to be the loser, either by points or gets finished. Because you don't want to be underneath Andrade. If she gets you on the ground and she's on top of you, she's going to ground and pound you. Or if you're tired and she's got very quick. I think also Andrade has better speed. I think she has the power and speed advantage. I think Lemos has better technique. Right, I think her Lemos's technique is a lot better. So I'm going to be betting probably. I'm not. I wanted to use Andrade in parlays, but her line got out of hand. It's not ridiculous, but it's way over 200. I think maybe this is an instance where I got to be smart on betting a decision or not. Right? And I think Vegas is confused about it too, because I believe that the yes to go the distance and not to go the distance were pretty much even money. So let's look at that fight again. Man, Alexander Romanov minus 1,400. That's just absurd. Yeah, yes to go the distance is plus 150. So, and not to go the distance is minus 195. So Vegas is expecting a finish here, with Andrade being a minus 210 favorite over Lemos at plus 165. The over-under is set at under or three or over 3.5. I think yes to go the distance is might not be a bad call here. And the finish line, it's Jessica Andrade at plus 140 by finish. Lemos is plus 260 by finish. But the decision lines are fat. So like if you take Lemos, I think the finish line is a great fucking value at plus 550, and then Andrade at plus 250 by decision. Lemos by TKO is plus 325, and Andrade by TKO is plus 225. So rather than the finish lines, I think that the actual method, like Lemos by TKO or Andrade by TKO, are what to play, or the decision lines. And it's like it's a tough one. Really a challenging one for me to pick, because when you see two brawlers meet, even though Andrade has that really genuine, for a woman, she has the most serious power out of any who by the sub lines. I don't think Andrade, I think Lemos possibly might be more willing to grapple and have a grappling heavy game plan against Andrade to get a submission. So Lemos by submission is plus 1,100. That's what it should be. But they have Andrade by submission at plus 500. That makes no sense to me, in that I think Lemos has a more of a submission upside or a submission probability, whereas Lemos doesn't. Or maybe they're thinking a club and sub, like Andrade, like club and subs Amanda Lemos. But I don't think that line Andrade by submission. I think it should be plus 1100 as well. In my opinion, that should be very similar. And they're not. Whatever. I'm not going to take that Andrade by submission, but the Lemos by submission is something I'm not going to chase it. I'm really not on the Lemos side. I really think Andrade is gonna carry through this, remain on top of the women's division, and just get it done. So I'm on that. I mean, that's sort of where I'm leaning. I haven't bet it yet. The only bet I have right now, because Manel Kopp ended being out, is Marcin Prachnau on the money line. And that's the only bet I have. And I have some other bets. There are a couple other dogs that I'm taking. I like that and Joey was correct. Joey made a very good call. The line on Charles Jourdain and Landon Venado has almost gotten even money, which is great because Charles Jourdain was like a minus 190 favorite at the beginning of the week. So that's really cool. It looks like everybody has been doing like the square parlay of like Andrade, Alexander Romanov, or maybe Macy Barber and Andrade. Or maybe Tyson Petero, that number has gone up. But there are a lot of close. And then Dean Barry versus Mike Jackson. I mean, Mike Jackson is the guy that beat up not Triple H, but the other wrestler, whatever his name is. So, and I never thought that Mike Jackson would get another opportunity. He's not a really trained fighter. But Barry Dean doesn't look anything spectacular. What's up, Fashion Cold Wars? Barry Dean doesn't look spectacular to me. So Barry Dean minus 1,000. Is Mike Jackson worth a fade play? I mean, he may be. Maybe I'll figure it out as long as I stay away from the fireball popcorn. We'll figure it out. But Mike Jackson wasn't supposed to get a fight again because he was toying with. He's from Chicago. I don't remember his name. He was toying with this guy, the wrestler. He was just making fun of him, and I know Dana was pissed, and so I was pissed too, because he was, he's always acting for the cameras and shit like that. But now he's facing a better fighter, so a real fighter. So that's why Dean Barry is minus 1,000. So, but there's a lot of good lines here, like White Durant and Sergey Kanazakov is even money. Evan Elder versus Preston Parson, basically even money. The Felipe Lins, Marcin Prachnau on the money line is good. Let's see, were there any other? Clay Guida versus Claudio Puelles is even money. Awesome. I'm glad I listened to Joey. I was going to take Charles Jourdain in parlays earlier in the week, and he told me to lay off. That the lines are going to get closer, and they are almost even now. So that's really good. Yeah. Oh, he's roughly 13. He's still like 1,000 here. It's baffling, and he's an Irishman. It shouldn't be baffling because the UFC, are they throwing this guy Mike Jackson a bone or something, or a lifeline or not? I didn't do the research and the background research on Dean Barry. When I saw that number, I stayed away from it. But when I looked at the weigh-ins, I was like, dude, the guy doesn't look that spectacular. And if anything, Mike Jackson, yeah, he's a dork. He's a media guy. He's not a great fighter, but physically he's in shape and he's athletic. Right? He could stay in there. He doesn't have a great skill set, but physically he looked better than Dean Barry to me. But I didn't see the fight. I didn't see the fight kinetics or the fight shape, of Dean Barry. And I know how Mike Jackson is, but Mike Jackson hasn't fought anybody of note. He hasn't fought really a good fighter. He's basically fought only amateurs as a novelty event. So he's a novelty fighter, and that's why that fight is a novelty fight, and that's why it's spec'd out at what it is. So, The really ridiculous fight is Alexander Romanov and Chase Sermon, where Alexander Romanov by TK or by finish is minus 455. I don't think I've seen a finish line like that. Romanov by TKO is plus 175, and him by submission is minus 129. You know what? That TKO line is the one to chase, right? he could get the sub, but I say Chase Sherman is gonna. What do they say when they fold like a chair? Chase Sherman's gonna get hit. He's like, man, they cut me once anyways. Fuck this. He's gonna place a bet on Alexander Romanov by TKO and just. I hope that's what happened. Fight Cold Wars has mentioned that he did watch a lot of Dean Barry, solid karate style with point fighting stance, gets in and out well, uses side kicks like jab, and has a good lead hook. Yeah, but how is he going to do if Jackson isn't a wrestler per se? He is just a media guy, so who knows? I just assume to stay away from that bout. There's no need to me. It's dog or pass, and it's a novelty fight. I'll throw $20 maybe on Jackson just because the line is just so wide, right? It's tough for me because I think that's that's the first fight, and I don't want to bet that the first fight. I'm not interested in starting my night off with a loss, right? And sometimes how my first bout goes, my evening goes, and I don't want to bet. Just drop the little bit of the fireball shit. And I don't want to start, create like negative momentum based on a novelty fight. And that's what that fight is. It is a novelty fight. So maybe it's just best to stay away. It's dog or pass, but sometimes even with those novelty bets, why waste your lunch money, your little $20, on your beer money or whatever, little 12-pack money, on a bet that's or a bout that's a novelty bout that you don't have a lot of security in, you don't have enough background of this guy Barry in. But I appreciate Fashion Cold Wars. That's why we do this channel, and I like going. That's one of the things I like about going live is if you're not sharing in the chat or in the comment section when I make the videos. Now I learned something, right? Fashion Cold Wars. I do respect the guy, and I see him in other channels commenting. So he watched it. I could grab his opinion, and now I have some information. Yes, I'm piggybacking or tailing somebody, but it's pretty cool to be able to do that and at least get some feedback where I didn't do the research at this particular instance. I've been very busy and tired, so that's much appreciated. But I think I'm just going to stay away from there. Let's just say I do $15 to win 100, I might jump on that. Just I have a new job. I'm making a little more money. I'm feel good. I've wasted other money on other things. I made a lot of other stupid bets, but I don't know if I want to start my evening that way, right? I mean, Dwight Grant and Sergey Kondratsikov are even money, or in fact, Dwight Grant is an underdog. I'd almost be more willing to double up on that and grab like Dwight Grant, on the money line for, $30 to $50, to an extent, rather than take the $15 that I would, put towards Grant or put it towards somebody else, right? That, it's a novelty fight. We're here to make profit. And sometimes these novelty bets, I'll throw 20 at that. I'll throw 15 on that prop, or I'll throw 30 on that prop, or 40 here, 40 there. And then at the end of the night, you're down a few $100s, right? Because you've been playing and not serious with your bets. You've been chasing these novelty or these suspicions and not stuff that, again, I admit, I haven't done the research this week. I do know a lot of these fighters. I do know Tyson Pedro and Ike Villanueva. I do know Dwight Grant and Sergey Kasanovas. I do know Marcin Precnow and Felipe Lins. I do know Ori Long and Cameron Elzy. I do know Jordan Wright and Marc-Andre Barriault. I do know Montana De La Rosa and, et cetera, et cetera. I know the rest of the card. I know all the fighters. I've seen them before. I know their technique. I would prefer to still watch video, even if I know them. Yeah, I've done reviews on Jordan Wright and Marc-Andre Barriault. And of course, if you've seen one of their fights, you've seen them all. But this is a different matchup, and that's why we're watching these fights. It's a different thing. I think Jordan Wright is a live dog on this fight. I like Marc-Andre Barriault, but Marc-Andre Barriault doesn't have finishing ability, whereas Jordan Wright does. Barriault can go 3 rounds where Jordan Wright cannot. So I'm thinking of grabbing Jordan Wright via finish, which was like plus 400. and stick with that. And if he gets out of the first round, I'm going to jump on Barrios by, whatever that live line might be. Hopefully it's plus money after Jordan Wright, slaps him up a little bit and he's bloody. And then Barrios, if his chin is cashed over that last fight, then he might get finished in the second round. But I don't think it was a fluke. He just was. You just can't defend yourself with your chin and your face. You can't be one of those fighters. And Barrios is one of those guys. He'll take one to give two, or and it's just like, it's just not, there. But Barrios why I think Wright is a good by finish or by TKO is a good bet. And I would bet the finish because he can submit. He can go in there, but he's going to more likely TKO him. Is that, besides it being a good value, is that Barrios gets hit too much. He'll let you hit him. Again, in order to close distance and get it, he likes the phone booth fight and he likes the brawl. So that's going to feed right into Jordan Wright's MO. And Barrios doesn't have that one punch knockout power. He's more of a volume guy. So yeah, and in Fashion Cold Words is correct. Wright likes to give it, but he can't take it. But that first round, he's going to have that the youth, the speed advantage. He's going to be able to tag up Barrios, and if Barrios lets him hit him hard and just like, okay, let me test my chin against you, even though you're a chump, Barrios will, not that he has a weak chin. Jordan has enough explosiveness, as you mentioned, Fashion Cold Wars, that first round to end it. So going back, D-Rex is saying he knew someone with the surname Andrade, and they pronounce it like the male name Andra. And she pronounces it just Portuguese way, just like they say H instead of R. So it's Jessica Andra. Okay, I don't know Andra. Okay. Did I say Andrade? Like in Spanish? Did I pronounce it in Spanish? No, more so than in Portuguese. Portugal's on the list, guys. Portugal's a place that I'm going to be going to. So, right by finish is going to be the play. Although I think what right by finish is it the same as the TKO line? You motherfuckers. That line was fucking plus 400. Now it's plus 260 now. So and the Jordan Wright TKO line is plus 350. So people, we're not dumb. The gamblers out there, and it's changed, right? It's now right by TKO is now plus 350. It was like up to plus 450 or more, and they were very similar. The finish line and the Andira. Well, whatever. She's got nice hair. Although I do like to try to pronounce the things better, and I definitely need to learn some Portuguese. I need enough Brazilians. I know enough Brazilians, and they're going to come. They're going to be around my life for a long time, so I should learn more Portuguese. Although I should have learned a lot of other languages as well. But the Jordan Wright TKO line is now plus 350. The finish line is plus 260. So everybody's on that play. Andere. Well, I'll give you this, D-Res. Oh, someone's at my door. Oh. I'm live. You made it. Okay. Drive it on? Wow.
You chill out.
I just got in. I just had one beer and Andra. Well, like I was saying, sorry guys. Like Jessica Andrade is not a woman that you want to mispronounce her name if you met her. Like Jessica Andrade is Lemos is a beast too, but Andrade is man, that girl, she's like a little dude. You know, she has Andrade has like a better physique than some like very small men at her weight class. Like, and she has genuine power, but actual like a good like strength, punching power and strength. And she's, yeah, she's a tough woman. So, and so is Lemos. But again, I'm not gonna chase that bet so much. I think the UFC probably went on with their, no, they're going to be going on with their live weigh-in. I'm going to be going to see, are we going to go see Ambulance?
Yeah.
We're going to go see Ambulance here in a little bit, going to the movies and doing some bowling. So I'll be here for another like 15 minutes or so, you guys, if there's something we want to talk about or address. But yeah, I think I'm going to focus primarily on this Jordan Wright bout in terms of where my Andre Agassi. I know who Andre Agassi. I couldn't believe that Andre Agassi was a crackhead, right? Like he was doing crack. Yeah, I mean I can't believe that Andre Agassi was like doing crack and playing tennis and was a champion, And then he has children with like Steffi Graf. I mean he overcame the drugs, but that he played, and he admitted that he won championships on drugs. That's like Lawrence Taylor, like. And Andre Agassi was like this poster boy for tennis. You would never have suspected that he was on drugs. I mean, what a tale there. They made the 30 for 30 for Andre Agassi. But yeah, my main bets I think are going to be Jordan Wright by finish. Man, I am torn between the bout between Macy Barber and Montana De La Rosa. And I'm going to jump on like a lot of other people, guys and gals. I'm going to be on Charles Jourdain on the money line. I'm glad that the money line dropped there. And I'm going to consider Jourdain by decision, which is fat fuckers, only plus 180. I mean, Vegas has really gotten absurdly tight with their prop lines. Man, it used to be juicy, meaty prop lines, but no more. They're on to all of us. All of us. They're listening to us. They're watching these shows. They know what's going on. They know what we know. Yeah, I think the decision line with those two women, because Montana Rosa could go grappling heavy. We saw that my girl took down Macy Barber, even if Barber said she had a broken knee or whatever, and once and De La Rosa's a wrestler. If she comes in, but although here's the problem with Fashion Cold Wars is so many of these women and men are falling in love with their hands. Everyone wants the bonus. Everyone wants the bonus, the fight bonus, the Bitcoin card, and no one wants a slow, boring match. Like people were booing the Pat Sabatini match when Pat Sabatini was dominating him on the ground. People were booing that he couldn't get the submission and that he was dominating him, and he was dominating and hitting him. He was doing damage, and people were booing that fight, right? So, as a fan, I like to see whatever. I understood what Sabatini. He's not out there to win my bet. I respect him what he did. He did a great job. Like he dominated his opponent, wrestling, grappling, controlling, right? Doing some damage there, not a ton of damage, but searching for that submission. I think he could have done a better job, but I really think that Montana De La Rosa, it's going to be close. And so Barber, De La Rosa at that plus 150 line for me is something that I'm going to consider. I like that area, and I wouldn't hate anyone for jumping on either fighter. Macy Barber is talented. She's young. She's talented. The fight that I think she should have lost her last bout as well. She's getting favorable decisions. She is young and quick, but Montana De La Rosa has been training well. I'm on the De La Rosa side there, and I might stay away from most other things because the lines are ridiculous. Tyson Petero via TKO or by finish, minus 335. TKO, minus 118. Villanueva is not going to hang in there. He's going to be a punching bag. His face is going to be destroyed. But there's no value in any of the bets. You know? I think the key in this particular card is, I think the distance props are going to be something that if you could figure out, you're going to get better value and better returns. This is a card where if you could figure out who gets a finish and who doesn't, not just betting the method, but the distance props, you could, or guessing that like, hey, Dwight Durant or Sergey Kanazo, that might actually not go the distance, which is plus money, right? You take that plus money, but if you're on either side of the guys, the finish lines are meaty. Dwight Grant is plus 275, plus 325. That's what I look at when I'm determining what I'm going to be doing. So I might just go with the not to go the distance at the plus money, and I might think, okay, I'm a little, like, just like Vegas, I'm leaning a little bit towards Dwight Grant getting that finish, right? And then sprinkle something on that. And I think that's the key. That just examining that one bout, and I'm going to get out of here soon. What time's that movie, babe? 6:40. Okay, so I do have time. I got a little time. Actually, not much time, right? You know, I'm going to look at fights like that, and I think we all should look at fights like that and see, you know, pick a fighter, pick a method again, but also that whether there's a finish or not. I normally wouldn't bet those lines, but in this one, for example, with Barrial, not to go the distance, minus 205. Jordan Wright and Mark Barrial, minus 205. I mean, it's risky to hammer that not to go the distance at minus 205, but if you got like really, you know, I'm feeling kind of way. You know, what's odd there is that not to go the distance is minus 205. It set it over under 1.5 rounds, and the over 1.5 is minus 150. And Jordan Wright's a 1-round person, but not Marc-Andre Barrial. He's a 3-round guy. Doesn't have finishing power. So the under 1.5 is plus 112. So I think the under 1.5 in that particular bout is the way to go. Because if Jordan Wright is still around and he's not gassed after 1.5, maybe he finishes Barrial or Barrial finishes him. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that, Fashion Cold Wars. It's like, it changes bout to bout, you know, like, or card to card. Some cards, you know, the prop, I look at, I haven't been able to do my diligence, my analysis normally, but I think we need to look at this card in that way. And you always need to look at that way, but, you know, look at the lines that are set improperly or that are, like in that particular Grant Dawson, Sergey Hadaltsiko line. You know, I think Vegas is a little off there. They're giving us good prop bets on the finish or even by decision. They're giving you good value on the bet, or you could just bet the money line if you're unsure. But I really like that one, the not to go the distance at plus 115. You know, maybe they're expecting Sergey Kadzanov to really like just control Dwight Grant. But Dwight Grant's going to try to be going for that knockout. He's going to try to stay on his feet. But yeah, so looking at those fights is yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Fashion Cold Wars. But yeah, like, yeah, the data points are important, right? Like the Vegas sets these points for us to utilize, and we're competing against those data points, not necessarily my data points, but we are always trying to counter what they're doing. So if you see a pattern and you see, oh, these motherfuckers have done really well with certain prop bets, but they didn't line the over-under lines that well, or they that's still meaty, right? Or that's still a good probable, you know, like the Jessica Andrade, Amanda Lemos, like not to go the distance is minus 195. Yes, to go the distance at plus 150. I don't know why that's not bad. Oh, thank you, D-Rest. Yeah, we'll see if I get a little prosperous night. I'm D-Rest and everyone. I'm gonna take it a little easier this card. I didn't do the research, man. When I don't do the research, like last weekend, I lost because of that Sabatini bet was so large, and I lost a bunch of other bets. I did lose a lot of bets, right? I did lose a bunch of them, but I didn't bet as much and as large increments as I normally do. And I think it's going to be the same thing for me this week because I haven't done the research. So why am I going to like start fucking doubling down, making these big bets? I'm not I don't mind tailing people. Even I got to meet Uncle Weezy at the casino last week, which was really cool. Gave him a hug. I was a little awkward. Normally just shake somebody's hand. I gave him a hug. I like that dude. That dude's cool. But I just I want to do my own research, make my own decisions. Yes, I do tail people. I've tailed Burt MMA. I've tailed you name it. You name any person, I've tailed them. And I'll tell them, I've tailed Brady. I've tailed a lot of people. Not a big deal, right? This particular car, I haven't even been able to do that. What's up, Capricorn? Yeah, yeah, it's the Fireball. Raj, hello. Hello, welcome to About Better. You know what I love about Raj the most? The thing I love the most is when his daughter like sort of comes in and does her little things and sort of not really messes up his hola, como está? Like when she does her thing, like Raj doesn't like, hey, I'm streaming, come on, he doesn't like get angry or he doesn't like chastise her. Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's my daughter. He doesn't even mess with the cat. The cat could go in probably the camera and he wouldn't hit the cat away. Like, hey, that's just my cat. Like, I love that about Raj, is that daughter's playing over there, checking him, mentioning something, checking his lines. He doesn't shush her, he doesn't shut her up. He lets her do her thing, and I think that's just awesome. That's like so cool. Because I definitely wouldn't be that way. You can't really tell because at live I'm not a perfectionist when I'm doing this, but I am more. I try to be more accurate when I do my pre-recorded stuff. I'm sort of anal about that, and I want it to be a certain way. Whereas this stuff is just freestyle, so it's no big deal. And it's just cool that that he allows that. The format is great, and it doesn't have to be this a form. It doesn't have to be whatever. Like it's cool, Raj. That's what I'm saying. So hola, como está? I love the way Raj. Everybody's like, he says, I love the way everybody imitates me. They say, welcome, About Better. I love that shit. And then, back to Capper, back to Raj. I like the way he says, oh, plus money. I love that too. And that we all have our sayings that's sort of funny and the things that people catch on. And I use that. Like I'll be at the casino and I'm like, I'm chasing that plus money. Like, and Raj doesn't even know that I do that. And people don't even know what I'm referring to when I yell that way. That plus money. And I laugh at it. So that's cool that we have our sayings, I think that's really awesome. So thanks for coming in, Raj. I will not be able to hear your stream as I'm going to be checking out here in a second after I have a little bit more beer and a Fireball. I'm getting a look. Dave, this is only my second beer and my second Fireball. That is all I need. You are correct. So guess what? Oh, come on. You love it when I'm fireballed. No. Why not? Yeah, I'm going bowling again. My girl, she's already on my ass. I'm going bowling. We're going to a movie. We're going to Ambulance. Is that what we're seeing, Ambulance? Mm-hmm. We're going to see Ambulance at Rosemont near the casino. But we're not going to the casino until tomorrow. And then afterwards, we're going bowling. But she's been kicking my ass. Although as much as I've been bowling, I felt I didn't do great. I didn't do very good last week, but I'm getting better with the ball control. I feel it coming on. But my girl's a very good bowler. You know, she's a really good bowler, and believe me, when I win, she hears it, and I have won. I have won. Yes, I've won before. I didn't win last week or the week before, but I will win. And it's just like anything. Like if you like, basically like Capper, like Ranj, when he beats his son at like, Fortnite or something, I know Ranj is all up in his grill. Like, yo, I got you. What was that? A sniper shot I got you? I know you're gloating when you kill. When you beat one of your kids at a game. I'm that same way with my gal. If I beat her in bowling, she won't hear the end of it. I'll take a picture of that and I'll show it. I'll keep sending it back to her. I'll send it to her all the time. I'll remind her the week before. I'll remind her next month when I beat her. So the goal today is to beat her so that I can gloat for a long time, right? Just like when I always mentioned that I picked, Craig by sub, when I had, certain bets. I'll mention those things in passing that what my better bets is. Believe me, if Pat Sabatini would have gotten that submission, I've mentioned it before, I would have been on here showing those tickets and showing that cash. Like, this is how we do. $130 made me $1,300 more, $2,000. I would have been all up here all the time. I would have mentioned it. You would have heard it on my other channel. You meet me in person. Like, hey, did you know I'm the guy that picked Pat Sabatini by sub at plus 1,800? I would be gloating, trust me. So, just like I bet Dobson. Who bet Dobson? This guy. This guy has that ticket. It's in there someplace. So, I really do wish everyone does well this week. It's corny to say. I like what Z MMA always says, like, it's us against the bookies. So hopefully you manage your cash well. I think this is it isn't a great giant money making card, because of the way the lines are. It wasn't a fantastic parlay card. I do think that looking at the totals plays look pretty good, and look at the variances my most confident play already has been put in place. It's Marcin Prachinal. I think he just does it by decision. I have him on the money line because I put him with Manel Kopp. Manel Kopp was my best play for tomorrow. Other than that, Raj, the other bet that I'm going to do is going to be Jordan Wright by finish. I'm sorry, or by TKO. I'm sorry. Even though it's dropping, everybody's on it, man. Everybody's on it. It sucks. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't jump on it earlier. I've been busy. And another one that I think a lot of other cappers, Raj, have been jumping on, and I'm glad I waited, is Charles Jourdain. And I'm going to take him on that. I think that is, like, let's see what I mentioned that they got on. The decision. Yeah, plus 180 by decision, Charles Jourdain. It should have been better. It probably was better earlier. Yeah, Linz did look good at the weigh-ins, but Linz is just, even though he won that PFL contract, and I know he's a $1 million winner, this is all low-level MMA. This whole card, except for Lemos and Andrade, and it's a women's card. Macy Barber and Montana De La Rosa. Those are basically, in my opinion, are the best bouts on this card in terms of high level or higher level MMA. All the rest of it is hunt and pick, hunt around, So I really, fortunately for me, Raj, is that I'm going to be staying away from most of this card. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't do my due diligence and research. Hopefully I stick to that. The bad thing is this is a later fight. It's at 5 p.m. So usually the fireball and the beers could kick in, but I've been pretty good. Last week I was good. I started late on the drinking, right? Fireball! Fireball! What? Alright, she's already pissed because of the fireball. Jesus Christ. Come on. I'm trying to entertain the people here. The live is supposed to be about the entertainment. She's driving, you know. It is what it is, guys. What can I say? That's why I have to erase a lot of these. I do get embarrassed getting loaded with you guys, but, you know, you say some things inappropriately or you're not friendly to your chat, you know. That's why I never wanted to go live. You know? Because it is what it is. So, cheers to you guys. Raj, have a good weekend. I'm going to be with you, you know. I wish I could see your show tonight, but I let BC Dave know that everything's good, or if you're with Blood Money Bet. I don't know if you guys could see that well. They noticed you, babe. They noticed that you looked at me all mean. She gave me the mean mug, huh? Well, Raj, I like that because I'm on Montana De La Rosa. I'm not confident, but things being as they are, with the odds being as they are, Montana De La Rosa used to have the same accolades as Macy Barber. They were both like young upstarts and upcoming stars. So I'm going to jump on Montana for that plus money. And hopefully I beat my girl in, you know, bowling too. Plus money. I'm telling you, Raj, I say that at the casino, and people look at me like, that guy is an idiot. But they don't know the reference, and those guys at the casino, Raj, here's another, from all you guys are all about bettors. Blood Money is for real legit. For real legit. Yeah, I'm on Montana. Go throw it, get her down. Get her, exactly. Fashion Cold Wars. Get her down. Hold her down. Don't even strike. Just keep her down. You know, these refs aren't standing them up anymore. Remember, like if you were inactive back in, you know, a few years ago, like you're controlling somebody, they'd, you know, stand them up, you're not doing enough damage. They haven't been doing that. They'll let you control them. If you're in a dominant position, you're in a body lock, you're not, you know, you're sort of threatening submissions and doing a couple punches. That's all you need, and they're gonna let it continue. So I think that is, you know, she's a live dog, and I think it's a fight to watch. And I'd rather lose money. Here's another thing, guys. I'd rather lose the money on a good fight, right, or a good probable outcome than on some of these other novelty fights, or not novelty fights, but low-level MMA bouts. Like, I don't really want to bet Dean Barry and Mike Jackson. I don't really want to grab Mike Jackson as a dog. It's throwing money away. I don't want to bet Ike Villanueva as a dog, right? Or Tyson Pedro finish in a parlay. I don't want to do that. Marcin Prachnau, I didn't want to bet that initially. There was some value that I saw in Marcin Prachnau. I don't think he should have been a favorite, and he has come down a little bit, but I wanted to, you know, I wanted Manel Kopp, right? That was my big play of the day. You know, this will be the first time that I bet on Jordan Wright. I have faded Jordan Wright every time out. I've faded that dude. Faded him big time. I faded Macy Barber. I won Capper Rob. So, you know, I messed up with Clay Guida his last outing out. You know, I mean, you know, Charles Jourdain and Landon Venata. Love that bout. I'm glad it is. There are a lot of previews earlier, like even yesterday and the day before. A lot of people just don't like the. Already know that, right? Yes, to go the distance is minus 155, right? Because Landon Venata could take it, and same could Charles Jourdain. And Landon Venata's wrestling. He's not a big. Before tomorrow, before the bet, I honestly hadn't had the time for line analysis, or I've had the time, but I've been just. What I'll do is I'll sit down, Fashion Cold Wars, And even though it's repetitive, and even though you see the lines, I'll write down not all the, or almost all the lines. I basically will write down the whole bet, but primarily by method. And then I'll look at other things. I'll look at round props and things like that. And I myself will do like this little cheat sheet or a page, or not about. I'll circle to go the distance at minus 155. And Vegas likes that too. But I think chasing a finish for either guy could be worthwhile. But I don't think so. So I like that yes to go the distance. And so I'll circle that, not in this particular bets, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So I would recommend people, you probably do, other people do. But hey guys, I got to get going. Joey, you came in a little late. I know I do have time, but I gotta finish this beer, finish that drink, put on some shoes, and yeah, well, I don't know if I'll come back live for tomorrow, but thanks for everybody that showed up. I didn't say anything inappropriate. I didn't do anything inappropriate, so this will be able to stay up. But yeah, my main bet already, or it's not even my main bet, but I'm on Jordan Wright finish. TKO at plus 350 now, and then Montana De La Rosa on the Andrade. So no, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I didn't want to say. I didn't read that. Dana really torn there. So I said I'm going to bet on, and I'm just going to stay away and do some Fireball and popcorn for most of it else. But thanks, guys. Have a good good evening. Have a good weekend. Go watch Capper Comparison Picks later on here in an hour. His stuff. Thank you, Fashion Wars. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for everybody to come on in. We out of here. And if you made it this far, you are about better. I sound old when I do that, huh?